Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Q&A. I'm joined once again by CEO Nick. How are you doing?
GM Jess, GMO, how you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. We're back.
We're back.
Markets are looking up, so we're going to dive on in with a little Q&A. How have you been so far?
I've been good. Been a crazy week. Yeah, it's a lot quieter here without Guy around, you know.
Yeah, Guy's flown back to the UK for Christmas, getting the Christmas spirit. We don't really feel it so much in the UAE,
no,
I've got
not
to be
really.
honest.
There's only a few Christmas trees around, you know. To be fair, it's not a festive season yet necessarily for them, but it's cool. Get into the spirit.
But we're flying back. We're getting ready to kind of shill to our parents that crypto's up again, and we can talk about the fact that we work in the space. So smiles
Some crypto
around.
gifts out, yeah.
Absolutely, some crypto merges, some crypto gifts. So first of all, a big thank you to everyone that has sent in some questions. We have some very good questions this week. We're going to dive on in. Are you ready for me to ask you the first question?
I'm ready. This one sounds exciting, man. It's right into the price predictions, right?
Right into the price predictions. So we have TK Timothy, estimated BTC highest price in 2024.
Oh, okay. Well, I think firstly, before I give any sort of price predictions, it's important to caveat that price predictions should be viewed with a pinch of salt, right? Because they are, you know, there's so many of them out there and they're invariably all around the shop. And I think what's most important from a price prediction perspective is to take a look at the analysis and underlying analysis that goes into a price prediction, right? Because that can help you inform your own research about whether you really think this asset is going to reach a particular price, in the case of Bitcoin. So having said that, yes, I do have a price prediction, personal price prediction for 2024. And I think that at a bare minimum, about 110,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my price prediction. Now it's important to obviously go into why I think so. And there's a few factors. So I think firstly and most importantly, obviously, it's a halving year, right? And it's important to take a look at previous halving years because Bitcoin has in all the previous halving years rallied in the halving year. And if we look at 2012, it was by 185%. In 2016, it was by 122%. And in 2020, by over 300%, right, within the year. So that's just a benchmark in terms of what previous halving years have done for the price of Bitcoin. Part of that is potentially because of the supply changes, right?
Yeah.
So there's less supply coming on the market. And if you believe in the stock to flow model, it will lead to an increase in the price of Bitcoin afterwards. But a lot of that's also just markets buying in anticipation of it. So it's, you know, the feedback loop. Okay, so that's how price will increase. Now, of course, the question is, what will Bitcoin be? Because you've also got the ETF approvals, right?
Yeah, correct.
If ETFs are approved, there are many estimates out there in research reports around in-depth research reports, which we can link to from the likes of Glassnode, Galaxy Digital, Matrixport, and CryptoQuant that have the price of Bitcoin out of the ETF approvals at between 50 to 70K. This is based on a lot of the estimation of how much flow will come into the Bitcoin ETFs from commodity funds, from the traditional financial markets, anywhere between 40 to 70 billion. So they estimate between 50 to 70K out of the ETF approvals. That's in January, right?
Yeah.
Which is not too, 50,000 is not too far off from where we are now, right?
True.
So if you were to assume in January after the approvals, we have the minimum of the estimate, which is $50,000. And then we were to take the lowest that Bitcoin has ever rallied in the previous halving year at 122%. By the end of the year, that works out to about $110,000. But I think it will be actually, you know, that's the base, like the bare minimum, like the most conservative estimate. I think it will probably reach that much sooner. And it will probably be probably about like a bit higher, like 120 to 130,000. That's because also it is the year of the pivot that's going to come just after the halving. And of course, the ETFs themselves have changed the market microstructure to the extent that so many more people can get invested in Bitcoin through, you know, institutional investors, and then also people who can invest in it in their RIAs in tax-efficient wrappers. So long explanation, but that is my estimate for Bitcoin in 2024. High price. Yours.
There we have it. Mine?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a range between 90 to 130.
Okay, so you got a range.
Similar calculations to you. I think from 90, I will start to kind of DCA, take some profits, and then kind of coast it up and just see where it goes. What's your strategy for taking profits next year? Because you're all in on crypto, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm all in on crypto. I mean, I will take some profits. I think that next year, potentially towards the back end, Q3, Q4, I'll start taking some profits and DCA out a little bit of it. But I think that, you know, the bull run could continue well into 2025. So, you know, that's why you want to take an extended period for your DCA out as well. So, yeah. That's cool.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed, because I think we're also planning some exciting things for the office. Me and Guy, we haven't told you yet, if the bull market does come back.
Yeah.
We're thinking like a big fish tank with some jellyfish in there,
maybe
maybe
some
a shark or
sharks
two.
Yeah, exactly.
We were thinking the office room, or maybe like a pet tiger in the corner, just to scare away
exotic
some of the
animals.
clients coming in. If we're busy, we don't have time to speak to them. Just
exotic animals, the new benchmark indicator of the Bitcoin bull market. Forget the Lambos. It's what sort of exotic pets you've got in the office.
Let us know in the comments, guys, what we should be getting for the office.
Yeah. Cool. Good question. So next question is from Black Bull 0988. Bull. It's a bull here. So spot BTC ETF. Buy the hype, sell the news, or not? What do you think about it? What do you think?
Good question. I would expect, possibly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some profit taking on the back of the news. That's mid-January, right? That we're expecting. James Seyfarth, the Bloomberg analyst that has been Mr. Spot Bitcoin ETF, has been like, there's a 90% probability by mid-January that we'll see the announcements come through. There might be some profit taking on the back of that, but like we've just discussed, it is a halving year. There is so many other elements at play. We've also got the fact that BlackRock, the likes of the other spot ETF providers, they have to hold Bitcoin as collateral. So over the year, we are going to see a buying increase as well. And if we're expecting, and I'd like to get your take as well, because you're also an ex-finance guy, what kind of portfolio exposure we're expecting to see from a spot Bitcoin ETF. If the likes of BlackRock do approve it by mid-January, and we do start to see the institutional investors, even a 1% exposure in their portfolios to Bitcoin, that's going to be crazy for Bitcoin adoption.
Yeah, exactly. So that is true. Like, there are definitely going to be commodity funds and large traditional investors that are going to look for alternative assets. And this Bitcoin ETF will give them the opportunity to be able to do it. That's within the remit of, their investment mandate, right?
Yeah.
Because they will need to be able to hold Bitcoin in an efficient wrapper that's regulated with, and in the case here with the BlackRock, it's going to be custodied by Coinbase, and they'll feel a lot more comfortable to do that. So there will be much more of an opportunity for these funds to actually hold an alternative asset that could be seen as a hedge of some description for traditional assets they've got in their portfolio. So that's going to lead to a massive inflow. Yeah. And those reports I mentioned earlier, they estimated between anywhere from 40 to up to 80 billion. And that's based on just the addressable market for current Bitcoin, for Bitcoin as an asset, for people who could be buying. But in terms of the question more specifically with regards to whether it's going to see some sell in the news event, yes, and I think we were talking about this yesterday as well. Yeah. So there has been a lot of long positions being put on in both the spot and the futures market. So for instance, in the futures market, the premium on futures, near-dated futures, is the highest it's been since 2021. So there's a lot of people in the futures market as well that are putting on positions in anticipation of the spot approvals. Same thing, there's been a lot of buying in the spot market because people are buying into the spot approval trade. So naturally, there will be some people who will be taking profits on the ETF approvals, right? If they're approved, they'll be taking profits. There will be some sell pressure, right? So there could be a potential retracement on the sell pressure. But the question then, of course, as you alluded to earlier, is there will be a lot of buying in the spot market as well as the funds are seeding their funds, right? As they're buying the spot Bitcoin. And that will take place over an extended period of 3 to 4 to 5 months. And that is going to be strong and sustained on the spot market. It's going to be price positive, obviously. Yeah. So while there may be some profit taken, it's not like the whole narrative is just the news. It's like the actual market structure of Bitcoin markets has changed considerably after these ETFs have been approved. Yeah. Yeah.
And the appetite this year for a spot Bitcoin ETF being approved, people aren't going to want to wait on the sidelines and get in next year with BlackRock.
Yeah.
Like, this is the year where things are starting to brew, excitement is starting to build, so it's going to be a sense of urgency in that regard.
Yeah, and it's not just, obviously the institutional side investors that are buying into the ETF hype in the futures market, because that was the CME futures, but also retail. Like, there's a lot of excitement in retail. I just saw yesterday, and you mentioned this as well, Coinbase app. It's been climbing up the rankings, right?
Yeah, so 46th ranking 5 days ago on the top financial apps in the world. And as of yesterday, it was 26th.
Wow,
we also saw Robinhood's crypto trading is up 75% month on month from the previous month. So we are starting to see these kind of good household bits of crypto news that are waving out just to show that, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what it's like now for people who can actually get in and buy and create a Coinbase account and who are feeling comfortable to do that.
Yeah.
Imagine how it will be when everyone who otherwise wouldn't have wanted to invest in crypto because they thought, I don't want to have to hold my own keys, I don't want to have to care about a wallet, I'll just want to buy within my IRA or some sort of investment account. They can just do that right now with a Bitcoin ETF. So yeah, it's going to be, it's definitely going to lead to a long extended buying period from these funds, which could counteract any sort of profit taking coming through.
Next question we have, Ain't That James, is asking, how successful do you think ADA will be in this upcoming bull market?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I guess the question here is, what does he mean by successful, right? Because I think there's two different components. Successful as a project, as an ecosystem that's growing and developing, with more people being onboarded, with more dApps being built. Definitely, I think Cardano's got the potential there, because I think that, for one, the community is a very strong community. They're a passionate community, the Cardano community. I mean, they just had the Cardano Summit here in Dubai, and it was very well attended. It seemed like, didn't really feel, and this was back in October, right?
Yeah, this was just before things started to really pick up.
But this was peak bear market, right? Like peak apathy bear market, and there was a lot of people, so that was well attended. So shows that the community is very passionate. There's development going on Cardano. Like for instance, about a month or two ago, it was the number one in terms of GitHub commits out of all of the layer ones. It's obviously got a very passionate founder who's obviously trying to onboard as many people as possible to utilize the Cardano blockchain network. And I think that obviously there are some dApps being built there. There is an ecosystem being built within Cardano. There are also potentials, not risks, but challenges for Cardano in the sense that compared to other layer ones, it doesn't have the same amount of dApps of development taking place, and the TVL is much lower. But I think that, you have to start somewhere. To be fair, they've gone with a completely different development approach, the whole peer-reviewed scientific approach. They've used a very advanced, programming language for their smart contracts, and there has been concurrency issues in the past, but it takes time. So yeah, I think that Cardano will be successful from a development perspective for sure, and a community growth perspective.
Yeah, and I agree with you on the community growth perspective as well. So I was having a little look at upcoming things that might be in the Cardano roadmap just for the end of this year, and scheduled for December 2023, so for this month, we're seeing that Cardano is undergoing a major governance shift with the implementation of CIP 1694. So introducing liquid democracy to Cardano and providing community members with a direct and active role in shaping the product's development. And I think this is something that we're seeing. You mentioned GitHub there is really active within the Cardano community. I went down a little bit of a GitHub rabbit hole of Cardano last night. I will add the link to the CIP 1694 link, because I think that's quite interesting. I think anything that can do with governance voting, where the community can feel that they're more hands-on, doesn't just help Cardano specifically, but also everything within that ecosystem.
Yeah, it helps. And I think governance has been an important component of Cardano. And I remember Guy had a space with Charles Hoskinson some time back, and a lot of that was talking about governance and the governance that Cardano is working on. So, and decentralized governance is important, and it's something that many other projects need to think about as well, because we need to get away from the idea of centralization. And this is potentially where another benefit of Cardano is that a lot of these other alt layer ones have, they can be quite centralized. They do have big VC backing. They still have large unlocks to go through, and Cardano can be considered quite decentralized from the perspective of its governance and its token holders.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And then also, but on the back of that, I think as a founder, Charles is very accessible to projects that are built on the Cardano ecosystem. So I've previously filmed some videos with Mickey Watkins from World Mobile, and Charles Hoskinson is so active within different elements of the community and kind of joining in Cardano blockchain spaces too. Yeah. And that's also quite important to see if you are following different projects in the ecosystem, how involved he is as kind of a leading figure. Yeah,
I mean, that's true. And it's good to see he's getting involved. Obviously, the point is you don't want it to be too reliant on Charles.
Yeah.
So that's why it's the community has to kind of also take the mantle a little bit. But they have,
and you'll never guess who is in the car.
Hello and welcome back to GM Crypto. Now we have so much fun and exciting stuff coming up for you on today's show. But first, we need to talk about the Coin Bureau deals page, Guy.
That's right, Jessica, because it really is the place to find the very best deals in crypto.
For starters, you can find bonuses of up to $40,000 at some of the best crypto exchanges.
And that's not all, Jessica, because you can also get discounts on hardware wallets, sign-up bonuses for some of the top exchanges, and trading fee discounts of up to 60%.
Amazing, Guy. Where can people find this deals page?
Well, just head on over to coinbureau.com/deals or use the link in the description.
Cool.
Next one.
Question. This is from Jacob Wolf, and he asks, can Solana, get a bit of a spell, can Solana keep going up even with the potential sell pressure when FTX starts selling?
So I think so. I think that we are seeing some really, really positive uptrends from Solana. And so as of today, the time that we're filming, Solana is around $71, which I think is very impressive. Yeah, and I think Solana had some really positive upsells. In October and November, it was still one of the top performers when it comes to altcoins compared to the wider market. We had a conversation with Austin Hedera, who's the head of strategy at Solana, and I actually asked him regarding the FTX selling pressure, what kind of impact he's expecting that to have. And he seems really positive that actually they've brunt the worst of the kind of FUD surrounding the FTX news. And at the moment now, this is just going to see kind of a slowly rolled out selling, which he seems that they're very resilient for. Yeah,
the narrative has seemed to shift completely. I think that this whole question of FTX FUD, I think it's a bit of a nothing burger. Well, a bit of a nothing burger right now because of a few factors. I think that one, the question shouldn't be when FTX starts selling. It should be more like if. Because the assumption that they're going to sell their Solana holdings is, first of all, a lot of it has to be unlocked in 2025. Right? And a lot is going to happen within this bull market, right? For one, there's a potential that FTX is going to restart in early next year, right? There's Bullish Global has looked into buying the exchange. There's a few other suitors, and if it restarts in a bull market, it can make a lot of money. Could potentially get to the stage at which all of the users, ex-users, and creditors can get all the funds back. And also, let's not forget that although FTX threw money at a lot of crappy places, there was some good investments, some really good YOLO investments. Was the Anthropic stake they had. That's worth now a lot of money. And that itself could potentially be able to make the creditors whole. So I don't necessarily think FTX will have to sell its Solana bags when they do unlock in 2025. So basically the whole FUD around FTX may be a nothing burger at that stage. And in between all of that, you've got all these exciting things that are going on with Solana. So, the things you alluded to, and a lot of projects building on the ecosystem. And it seemed that breakpoint was just this turning point where the narrative completely shifted, and it just happened at this fortuitous time. The markets are turning around as well. So, yeah, I don't think it's something to, I can think of Solana can definitely keep going. And that is assuming that even if there is FTX selling pressure, there's been about a month ago, there were some coins that were sold that were moving on the chains that people tracked. But even then, I don't think it had much of an impact on the price because look, we're at $70 now.
Yeah, it's true. And Guy did a great video on the main channel as well, covering Solana that went out last week. And there were some really good points there, I think. Just looking at Solana's growth and expectations for scalability, Anatoly himself was kind of previously from a telecoms background. And Solana is just one of those really scalable projects that roadmap that they have is very impressive indeed.
Yeah, and in that video, if you're talking potential price predictions, so if Solana is following behind Ethereum, it's one cycle behind in terms of Bitcoin bull markets. In the next bull market, for example, Ethereum hits a market cap of around 500 billion during the last cycle. So if Solana was to follow suit this time around, it would translate to a price of around 1,200 for SOL, which is a 20x move from its current price. That's the price in that video. We can link to it below. But it's definitely doing well this cycle.
He's hitting us with some bullish price predictions today, guys.
I'm just saying what's in the video out there. If Kathy Wood is shilling it, then
it's true. Kathy Wood, we've got Raoul Pal is also really shilling it. Arthur Hayes has also been talking Solana on Twitter.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of big social media sentiment around Sol at the moment. Okay, so next up we have Lack in Otin. Is that how you'd say that?
I mean something.
Sorry if we killed that pronunciation. Do you believe ADA and Sol will achieve new all-time highs within the next 2 years? Well, you've kind of answered the Sol question based on the previous video that you referenced.
I mean, in the next cycle for sure. I think it's definitely doable, definitely possible. I mean, for one, I think that both of these projects and networks are being built on. There's a lot of excitement around them. And it's entirely likely that they'll go over. Like Solana, what was it? The previous all-time high was 260, so it's 2021, more than likely. ADA, it's $3.1. I think that obviously ADA in terms of tokenomics is it's got a large outstanding supply, so that requires a lot more buying pressure to pull it up to its previous all-time high. But like I mentioned, all those other previous things, as well as the broader sentiment, and in a complete altcoin season, for sure. I think that both of them will, in the next 2 years, if we're going into this bull market, if we're going into this alt season that's going to be the raving alt season of previous years, it will definitely be over, both of them.
I think what's interesting as well is I like to touch base with people that are just getting into crypto this year. I don't know if you get your friends from home reaching out like, hey bro, are you still into crypto? What token should I buy? Yeah. And Solana is one of the ones that is coming up. So people are kind of referencing the big kind of three, which is now kind of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, which I think is interesting from a kind of newbie perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's partly because it's just it's been covered in the mainstream so extensively, right? So people are like wondering, is Solana going to be, there's a narrative, Solana the next Ethereum? Like so many people are chasing the next thing, the next big thing. And Solana seems to be, also a lot of Solana NFTs from the previous cycle. Solana was a big ecosystem for NFTs.
Yeah, true.
So people can associate NFTs with Solana. And that's assuming that we're going to have another NFT cycle. It's another bullish narrative and push for Solana. Yeah.
And they had the news that came out recently with Visa as well, with kind of some of their banking rails. So I think from the back system side of things, they're also going through. And Breakpoint, you're right, sound like a massive turning point. So
yeah, I wish I was there. Damn, it sounded like a party.
Well, next year I think we need to hit the conferences more, because that's where all the exciting alpha bits of info come out. So
the one thing though that isn't doing too well in Solana apparently is their Saga mobile phone.
Yes, which is interesting because I think that's the one thing which, I think everyone's like, we'll take a cut with that one.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, to be honest, if you did buy the phone, count yourself. It's not necessarily going to trump the iPhone, but
see if you can trade it back for some Sol.
I mean, credit to them for trying to think about a way to onboard more people into Web3 of some description than, get in a phone. I mean, there's always been this shift to try and get mobile phones, crypto native mobile phones into the hands of newbies. There was the Finney, there was the HTC, there was a few of these that worked on them. None of them has really been able to crack that nut.
Yeah.
But credit to Solana for trying.
Yes.
And they also had a physical store that was selling these phones in New York, if you recall.
So non-degen.
That was bull market.
2021, what a time.
Yeah. Next question from Timothy Allen Dyer. When are you going to invest in more alts? And don't give me that BTC dominance rubbish, Jessica.
I will absolutely not, Timothy. Don't you worry. So I actually need to update my portfolio on Coin Bureau Club today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit tired. Come on, come on.
This week I've had a little bit of a reshuffle, guys. So I have moved a little bit more into some alts. One of the newest additions to the family was Pith. This week.
Yes.
Pith was a new altcoin this week, which is an interesting one on Solana.
Bullish AF, yeah.
Are you bullish on Pith too?
Bullish, yeah.
Okay,
I need to also pick up some, yeah. I want to watch the video that's coming out on Coin Bureau Club today, so I want to first check that out before I decide to buy into it, but yeah.
So Guy has finished filming this video and his mind was blown at some of the content that he has uncovered in this video. So this is very exciting. And then also, as I mentioned, Guy's recent video on the main channel on Solana, I've moved some ETH into Solana recently as well, earlier this week, which was...
This week, just before the pump.
It was at 56 when I did the move, and ETH was above 2K. So just call me Trader of the Week, guys. We'll have a little contest in the office.
You should run our trading channel.
Maybe I should. What about you? Talk me through your altcoin diversification.
So I mean, I do also hold alts. I've been accumulating some alts, and no, I'm not focused on the BTC dominance angle. I think that obviously most people think about, BTC dominance is going up, so you don't want to be invested in alts in that environment. But that's just looking at it from the perspective of the entire altcoin complex, right? There are unique opportunities within the altcoin space right now, as we've seen with some of these outlayer ones, where you could make gains in relative to Bitcoin even. So, I've also hold Avalanche, right? I've talked about Avalanche before, quite bullish on Avalanche as a potential there's a lot of exciting subnets being built on Avalanche, especially in the GameFi space. I hold some Injective. I've talked about Injective before, very highly performant DEX built on Cosmos that's now becoming like for the open finance. And they're going through a lot of coin burns as well, which is obviously price positive. And then I also hold some NEAR as an alternative, NEAR protocol as an alternative diversification for my Alt1 holdings. Obviously hold Ethereum, quite a big stack of Ethereum, always been a long-term ETH bull. I've been accumulating alts, and I do also, like I said, I'm very bullish on Pyth. Like I remember looking back into it like three or 4 weeks ago for a previous Q&A, and I was also just mind blown in terms of like how impressive this project is and what it's trying to achieve. It's highly performant, it's high frequency, low latency Oracle network that's going to basically change the way we think about, and it's also very interoperable across 30 plus blockchains. So after that video goes out, I'm going to definitely pick up some more Pyth, and you guys don't want to watch that video, the Coin Bureau Club will leave a link to below in the description.
And also, so I hold some Atom as well. I did an interview with Ethan Buckman, who's the co-founder of Cosmos.
The rapper.
The interview will be going online on Tuesday, I believe.
He's got some good bars, I hear.
He has got some great bars. He does do a little bit, maybe of a little rap.
He's going to bring him in to do a collab with Cousin Barry, and they're going to rap it through.
And we're going to rap through everything. That is peak market top, I would say. No, I'm kidding. But you mentioned Injective there, and I think he said something really interesting, which is regarding the Atom to Cosmos ecosystem tokens. So I would advise everyone to go and have a watch of the interview when it does come out. But it definitely made me think, I need to sit down and dive more into the Cosmos ecosystem and look at some of those other tokens too. Yeah,
exactly. There's a lot more alpha within the Cosmos ecosystem. Look, I don't know if Atom itself, like we were discussing yesterday, in terms of Atom's tokenomics, aren't amazing, which means that it does potentially limit its price potential.
Yeah.
But in terms of the projects building on Cosmos, and I think that there's a lot of alpha in there. I mean, look at some of these tokens, like Celestia,
Celestia, yes, Tier Coin, so Injective, and then we saw DXDY. The tokens have really grown, and when we do our news market recap, these are tokens that have recurrently been brought up. Atom itself hasn't seen that upward potential, but within the Cosmos ecosystem, some of them have really been flying. So if any of you are bag holders, congratulations.
No, a guy told me that he was due a part of the Celestia airdrop, but he just forgot to do it or something. And he's like, I just didn't feel like doing it. He was planning to do it, but it's just so busy. It's just so busy shooting content that the things he does for you guys, he just couldn't sign him to actually go and collect the airdrop. So he missed out on that Celestia pickup.
I have a story, but I will wait because we have a question about our crypto efforts.
Okay.
And it'll fall into that category. Okay, Eddie Hefferman 74 says, does bot trading work in crypto?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that there's a few components here. So first and most important is, I assume that most people who aren't involved in crypto in some description will have seen some sort of an advertisement for crypto bots. Bots that, if you deposit X amount, $500 into this revolutionary trading bot, it's going to 50x your returns within a month because it's got this revolutionary algorithm and stuff. Full-on scam, complete scam. It's a well-known scam in this space that's constantly out, that's been out there for quite some time. Remember, guys, if you've been asked to send money to someone online in the promise of returns of some description, pretty certain chance it's going to be a scam, right? So watch out for those types of bots. However, there are other kinds of trading bots that are third-party proprietary software, which you can connect to an exchange API account. These are the likes of Crypto Hopper, 3Commas, AllTradey, all these kind of bots that you can pre-program rules into it in terms of your trading strategy that will trade on your exchange account for you, and it connects to the API to do that. Now, are these bots good? Do they work? Well, it really depends on the inputs, right? So it's garbage in, garbage out. If your trading strategy is a good trading strategy that's been well back tested, and you've done some paper trading with your trading strategy with these bots, then it can be successful. However, I will say things change regularly within the markets. A strategy that was good 4 months ago in terms of, all these technical levels that you've programmed into the bot may not be good now. There's also a lot more sophisticated market actors out there with way more performant bots than you. We're talking about all TradFi into the ecosystem right now. They've got trading algorithms that are developed with guys from PhDs and Wall Street hedge fund shops. So, it can be successful to a certain degree, but it's not something that's going to be sustained for a long period, and you constantly need to make tweaks to it. And I will also caution when it comes to, giving third-party software API keys. There have been leaks of these in the past, more specifically with related to the most popular, which is 3Commas. So, does it work? Yes, it can if you've got a very good trading strategy and it's been backtested and it's tried. But I wouldn't expect the marvelous gains that you would have heard about through online.
Yes. I did give 3Commas a go in 2021, and they have a good educational series. But for me, I am not a trader. So for me, I just sit back, let the experts do it. Not for me.
And you need to basically, it's a full-time job, right? If you want to constantly, even if you are automated and you do have a trading strategy that works, like I say, if it works now, it's not necessarily going to be working in a month or two, and you need to tweak and adjust. And but that's why if you do proper paper trading for an extended period of time and it's still doing well for you, and the back tests work, then potentially. But it's not something you can just set and repeat. It's not something that you think, oh, okay, I want to sleep, so I'm just going to put my trading bot on. It's not going to work.
Traders never sleep. If you're in crypto, don't ever sleep. It's a full-time thing, 24/7.
24/7, man.
25/8.
The memes are true. The memes are true of the sleep-deprived, crazed hair. That's true. If you want to be a crypto trader, just when you hodl, it's peace. Just enjoy. Just know it's going better. It's going in the long term.
When you hodl, it's peace. Who are you kidding, honey? If you're on crypto Twitter, you never sleep.
That is true. Cool. So next one is from Coinclusion. And he asks, and this is a very good question actually, about 70% of BTC holders are hodling. Will this be a problem later when miners need fees for rewards, right? So this is the point, of course, when mining rewards go to zero, block rewards go to zero.
Yeah. Later is in 100 years' time.
120 years' time,
120 years' time. Looking down
when we're all
vision.
dead.
Vitalik is working on us all living longer. We might all be going for here till 150.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Very good question. So I think this kind of looks into the future of, I've kind of taken this question as the future of Bitcoin. Once all the blocks have been mined, where does it fit within the ecosystem? Because actually right now, as we are seeing, Bitcoin is seen more as a store of value, and it's not really seen as something that is being super interjected with. We've got other layer ones that are really coming in, and they have more scalable, cheaper transactions. It's crucial that we keep miners motivated with these rewards, and that's how they are going to be generating revenue, how they're going to be incentivized to keep the network running and to keep it safe and secure. But it is a risk for the future, and I think it's really hard to tell how the future of crypto will look that far down the line. I did have a little dive down the rabbit hole of the white paper again yesterday. I feel like everyone should reread it once every few months.
Just keep it on your bedside just before you,
Oh, and then you sleep like a baby, and high technical. And obviously, as we know, the intention of Bitcoin was to be used as a peer-to-peer cash system. It was to be used as a transaction means rather than a store of value. But there was a quote from Satoshi on one of his email threads that said, "I'm sure in 20 years there'll be either very large transaction volume or no volume."
Yeah. So that is prescient. Yeah. So I think that, first of all, there is a lot that can happen in 120 years. For one, in terms of when it comes to the mining machinery itself, like, for instance, do you not think that in 120 years they'll develop quantum computing? It'll be able to either quantum computing can be mining it so efficiently that that it won't really matter what the block rewards are and what the transaction fees will be minimal. It's fine. Because at the end of the day, the machines are so powerful. Or the quantum computing itself could, one of the threats of Bitcoin as a cryptographic network is quantum computing. So, one is potentially quantum computers can help mine. The other is quantum computers can be a massive threat to Bitcoin. So it's a lot can happen within 120 years. Same thing in terms of if not quantum computing, how will mining machines look in 120 years? Will they be so efficient that it's still profitable to mine when transaction fees are so small? And then of course the point you make around what will the investment now, what will the landscape look like? If Bitcoin is at that stage just hodled by massive governments and it's used as a store of, it's used as a reserve asset, for instance, in terms of central banks, and it gets to that stage.
Michael Saylor's just still sitting on it, not
exactly.
touching it.
He's not touching it.
It's getting dusty. It's not moving.
And then it's only been moved for the perspective of these really large hodlers who want to transfer this, the coins. Think about it like if a central bank has a massive stockpile of gold. Obviously, this gold is going to cost a lot of money to move, right? You got to obviously get into ships. You need to insure it. You need to get the security. Okay, so Bitcoin will be quite expensive to move in that time, assuming that the fee market does adjust and the mining machines aren't hyper efficient then. But then it will probably be worth the cost to pay for the fees if you want to transfer an asset that is so rare and important from a store of value perspective. So, I think that's a lot can happen. That's what potentially we could be seeing, but it's also so in terms of not only will the investment landscape itself change in 120 years, but machinery side of it as well. And so a lot can happen.
And the mining landscape has changed so much, even in the last 7 years. So when I first learned about Bitcoin, I was living in Latvia, working for a Forex bank, and all of my videographers were mining Bitcoin with their GPUs in their sheds because Latvia, the electricity cost was so cheap. So everyone had their own individual little mining rig in their shed. Their wives were always wondering what the hell was going on. And it's really unlikely now that you see someone that is an independent miner. I mean, unless they've been in the space for a while, and let us know in the comments if you are still doing it. But it's something that already this year we're not seeing as much.
There's a guy recently did an interview with a guy who's selling Bitcoin mining machines on the Clips channel. We'll link to it as well. So that's a very interesting one to watch if you guys want to get more of an in-depth idea about how the mining landscape looks. Next question.
Oh, okay. Gaming narratives. Whoa. James McCormick, 91.
Yeah.
Gaming narratives, one of the biggest sectors. Do you hold any gaming tokens?
Okay, so firstly, I don't hold any gaming tokens, although as I mentioned, I do hold Avalanche, which is, it's becoming one of the most popular layer ones for games to build, for blockchain-based games to build in the subnets. But I think that the gaming narrative is a very strong one for the next bull cycle.
Yeah.
And I think that we've got a video coming out on the main channel in about a week or so that's going to look at the different crypto narratives that are going to be driving the next bull run, and gaming is one of them. The fact that obviously gaming studios, or the profitability of gaming studios has been tight recently, and they're going to be looking for new and intuitive ways in order to create revenue for them, for the studios. One of them definitely could be integrating cryptocurrency into the game itself. The most important factor for gaming projects to do well, I think, and we've talked about this many times, is for the game itself to be incredibly captivating and playable for gamers before anything with cryptocurrency becomes involved, right? So,
it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. It's not shit. Not not Axie basically. Not those kind of original like Ponzi-nomic kind of games which are just played because of you could get extra reward from playing it. The game itself has to be captivating. It has to have people engaged, and the tokens and the crypto economy has to be ancillary to it, right? So it has to complement it and provide a lot of value. And there's a lot of projects that are out there that are looking at this. I've mentioned a few. I talked about Shrapnel a few times, a first-person shooter. I'm very excited about that project.
You talk about Shrapnel in every Q&A I do with you.
I do, yeah. I mean, I'm just so impressed by it. I may actually play it. I haven't played I haven't played games for like years, but it's one of those games that I was like, I now feel like I need to get involved. There's also Big Time, which I think I've talked about once or twice before. It's another kind of game which is really exciting. Got Ari Melberg building on it. He's one of the founders there. He used to be from Decentraland, and they've got some other big, game developers who are working on the project there as well. So yeah, I think that gaming is a very exciting narrative. I don't personally hold any GameFi tokens. I may pick up some in the next few months, depending on how the market progresses. But if you also if you're bullish on the GameFi narrative as well, then you can also look at the ecosystems where, the layer one ecosystems where games are being built.
Yeah. And I also personally don't hold any gaming tokens. I have been watching some. I previously held some Gala in 2021. Also been watching Engine, which is a platform which supports various metaverse and augmented reality games, collectibles, these kind of things. Engine's actually survived a fair few bear markets as well. So that's
Engine's been around for quite some time, yeah?
Yeah, it's not his first rodeo. It's been there for a while. You sound...
Immutable X, that's, I think that's a very popular one as well, because obviously they're building this layer 2. There's completely separate layer 2 for gaming, for games to be build on, which obviously is important because games need a highly performant blockchain, and as a layer 2 that's going to be able to facilitate that. So yeah.
And I would say if you are looking investing in specific gaming tokens that are kind of new to the core, I think one thing that I was in AIBC Summit 2 years ago and I helped judge a gaming startup pitch where essentially loads of games came and they pitched, and then there was Scott Stornetta was one of the judges and was getting to vote and see which ones would kind of come forth and make it in the next cycle. I was really amazed how long it takes to develop a game. These people have been like developing these games for 2-3 years. So I would say make sure before you invest in a game, you really dive into tokenomics. GTA.
Talk about GTA. You know GTA, 6 release. I was going to GTA. How long did that take? That must.
Well, there's only been 6 GTAs. And I'm like, I swear I was playing GTA when I was like 12 or 13, and I'm now not that young.
Which GTA were you playing?
Probably the first. I hope it was the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
think
it's 6 years they've been taking to build it.
Taking 6 years, yeah. You see the trailer, that was pretty cool.
The graphics are amazing.
Yeah. No, I remember back in the day, GTA San Andreas. I used to love that game.
Did you see the buy Bitcoin shill in the GTA this time round? So someone leaked the trailer wasn't supposed to come out until next year because the game's not coming out until 2025. Someone hacked into the GTA, took the trailer, put buy BTC as a big watermark, and then leaked it on Twitter. So that's why GTA have now rolled it out.
My God, that's crazy.
Yep, and the GTA trailer has 101 million views in one day. The official one.
Well, credit to this guy whoever did this. You know, we salute you. You're probably going to go to jail, but thank you for the service you've done for Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, the biggest marketing community with the lowest marketing budget of all time. Greatest industry in the world.
Yeah. Next question. Final question.
This is the best one.
This is the one, yeah. This is the best one. We left it for last.
Matt Wewe.
He's quite a regular asker, by the way.
Matt Wewe.
Yeah.
What was the biggest crypto noob mistake you've ever made, and what did it teach you?
So this is interesting. And I think there's a recent example here. And I want to use this because I think it's important to impress upon people that no matter how long you've been in the crypto space, for me, ever since like 2016, it's still possible to make really noob mistakes if you're not careful and if you're not, doing your proper due diligence or proper processes. And this was called the poison address scam. Have you heard about this before?
No.
So basically what it entails is a spammer/scammer will spam your wallet, your address with a scam address, right? Spam transactions that are being sent to a scam address, right? And the scam address is very similar to a previous address you've used to send to, but they just change the first 5 and the last 5 characters are the same.
Yeah.
And they just change the middle characters. So the assumption they make is that, okay, well, this guy's in a hurry or whatnot. He's just going to go back to his transaction history, copy an address he sent to. It looks similar that I've sent to before. I send to it all the time. I'm just going to copy, paste, and send, right? Yeah. So obviously the way you can check for that is you just check the whole address. But people in a hurry, they're busy, whatnot, they just send to the scam address. And it's usually they try and spam addresses when they've have done big transactions because they kind of think to themselves, okay, well, there's more likely to me to get a big transaction sent to me if they send in big transactions out of this wallet. This is about 5 to 6 months ago. There was a number, and the whole idea of like how disasters happen or whatever, it's like, it's not one event, it's like a collection of things you don't do correctly that just lead to it happening. So one is, for instance, I didn't update my Trezor Suite software.
Okay.
So if I'd updated my Trezor Suite software to the latest version, it had the ability to be able to flag all these suspicious transactions and these suspicious addresses. I didn't do that. Okay, my fault. Not clean on my software updates. And then I was super busy doing 10 different things at the same time. Yeah. And I was like, I've sent this address before. Let me just get it sent. And I saw this address that was in the previous transaction history, put it into the transaction, hit send, and 5 minutes later, I was like, it hasn't arrived yet. What's happened? Check into it. And immediately I was like, that was the dumbest decision I've made.
How big was this send?
It was 5 figures.
Oh.
So I don't know what hurt me more, the fact that I'd sent 5 figures and it'd gone and I just had to accept that, or the fact that I fell for kind of like a really stupid scam at the end of the day, because it's just just triple check in your transaction, the wallet address. And I usually do that all the time, but like I say, super busy, wasn't clean on the software updates. But I did feel a bit better after like a week or two, like about a week or two later, because apparently someone at Binance had done a similar that thing, but for a 20 million. So I was like, okay, fine. If someone at Binance can do that mistake with 20 million, I should not be too hard on myself. Although in that case, they managed to blacklist the address.
Oh my God.
They managed to get Tether to blacklist the address.
Yes.
Whereas with me, I was like, I'm watching my coins being moved along the blockchain. The guy's going to go and spend it and buy himself a nice...
You might see him by the pool in Dubai,
exactly.
like, oh, nice shoes, man. I paid those myself.
I funded those, yeah.
And at least now you have a one exact story to say for like your crypto
Exactly.
mindset.
And it's important also because, like I say, everyone can make mistakes, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been in the space, and no matter how you think you're not fallible, it happens. So always keep your guard up, guys. Now, keen to hear yours.
I don't have like one specific story, but I just looking over the years. Okay, so trying to trade when you're not a trader, not taking profits. First 2 bull markets, I did not take profit.
Yeah, that's
really,
true.
which is
That's
terrible.
mistake,
the first bull market, and my mother afterwards was like, "You made how much, and you didn't take anything."
The FOMO, when the FOMO gets hold, you just can't stop.
Well, I didn't tell anyone that I was trading crypto and how much money I'd made, and I think if I'd vocalized it to a normie mother guidance figure, she would have been like, take some profit, So trying to sell on news, I remember in 2018, crypto was tanking pretty significantly. I was not being reactive enough at all. And then Brian Armstrong was going on too. So we had like Brad Garlinghouse going on a panel with Brian Armstrong on CNBC. I was convinced that meant Ripple was going to get listed on Coinbase. So I aped in on Ripple and Kraken. Did not happen. So
this is 27, late 2017, right? This is Ripple reached its all-time high.
No, it was like straight afterwards.
Oh,
I think, early 2018. Don't try and trade in a bear market, guys. If you are not a trader, not taking money out of centralized exchanges in time as well.
That's true.
So during the whole FTX collapse, I was giving an interview about people to take their money off an exchange while leaving some money on BlockFi. You could not write it. And then also like just not kind of taking credit. So similar to Guy's story with airdrops. Arbitrum airdrop earlier this year was something that I missed out on, even though I held some ARB. And then even something silly, I used to work for CoinMarketCap, which was owned by Binance. We got a bonus for hitting a new subscriber count of $5,000 worth of BNB. But I just handed in my notice, so I felt too guilty to actually claim my bonus.
Whoa, no, really?
I swear to God. I'm an empath, guys. I was like, I feel so bad. I'm leaving the company. I won't claim it.
Well, I mean...
I think they could have afforded it. They've offered it to me and I just didn't claim it. So that's a bit of a silly one.
That's a nice bit of intel to know is you're working with us. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, look, not taking profits. I think that's one of the ones, even myself, I think that many people make that mistake to the extent that when the FOMO kicks in and you think about the potential foregone gains, and and it's a question of like there's the whole idea of the notion people have that diamond-handed hodlers, right? They should never sell. But that's everyone's got their own financial objectives, right? And it helps to take some profits because you can use that again in the next cycle to accumulate, right?
Yeah. And I did NFA yesterday with Ben, and he was talking through. We always talk about DCAing into crypto, but he was talking about DCAing out of crypto. Yeah. So you set your price predictions for what you're expecting. So say we have the range of 90 to 130,000 per Bitcoin. You would put that into his aggregator into the cryptoverse. I'll leave a link in the description for everyone to check it out. It is part of the paid subscription model, but it will give you, if you set your risk appetite for kind of how aggressively you do want to DCA out, it will give you different price points and then different percentages on which you can exit, which I think is really useful.
And I don't think that it's not connected to an exchange. So Ben, I think if you want to, make it way more efficient and way easier for people, potentially also allow people to connect to APIs and that it will automatically and pre-programmatically do it for them. Because I know one of the biggest things is you got to separate emotion when you're taking profits from the actual action of doing it. And if you've got these pre-programmed levels of what you're thinking to take place and it's just done automatically, you don't have to think about it and you don't have to rely on yourself to actually press the sell, which can be quite tempting not to do if you're thinking about all the gains you could be getting from future Bitcoin growth.
And the worst is not even the selling part. The worst is watching the price after you've sold. If you watch it and the next day it goes up, oh my goodness, that is a really sad time.
That is sad too. But at the end of the day, still feel good afterwards if Bitcoin does retrace below your take profits. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? Because obsessing about foregone gains. The same thing about obsessing on other people's, material wealth. It's kind of like, as long as you're happy and as long as you're better within where you started from this bull cycle and you've, got more gains in terms of your fiat holdings, what do you care?
At the end of the day, it's nighttime.
Perspective is important, yeah. At the end of the day, what?
At the end of the day, it's nighttime.
Fair point. Cool.
Amazing. So that is all for the questions.
Yeah.
The questions were really good this week. I
They were
enjoyed
very
it.
good. We got a lot of them. It's finding them sometimes, but we sometimes go through some of the older ones to see if we can come back to them. So, guys, we love getting these questions. So if you want to ask them, we got a link to our Instagram below, coin.bureau. Every week, about midway through the week, we'll start asking for these kind of questions. You submit them, and then we'll go through them at the end of the week. And we enjoy answering them as much as you guys enjoy sending them. So please keep them coming. So
Super. Thank you.
cool. Enjoy your weekend, guys, and we shall see you soon. Cheers.